Hey champions, Chris Beane here. I'm going to do a review of my Super Note Manta. Had this for just over a month now, and I've used it for a great number of different things. I've done a planner that's on it, a full year for 2025. I wanted to shift away from the digital journal that I was using through Notion, in fact, and move into something that was physical. I think that was missing something because I wasn't writing something physical. So I looked into the physical, the e-ink kind of landscape. I landed on the Manta. You know, it has such a refreshing opportunity to be able to switch out counterparts. So like if the battery goes down, I can contact the company, I can switch out the battery. The whole kind of back panel of this comes off. I can change the actual processing board that's in there. I can change out the battery. I can put in a new SD card. I mean, how long has it been since we've had devices that we have with us and carry around with us that we can change out the battery on, right? That doesn't happen anymore. So that's super awesome with this. Not to mention, listen, I've been writing on the iPad now for a year or so. It's okay. It's all right. The thing that was really missing is the pen. I'll tell you what, this kind of stylist, I guess is what technically it would be called. It looks and feels like a real pin, and it just, the little clip that goes on here is really nice. This whole thing kind of comes off. This looks like a pin, and it writes like a pin. It's so comfortable to use. So I'll do a kind of top-down shot here. I want you guys to see how I've been using this and some of my kind of feedback as we go. You know, and the thing is with this little guy here, the clip, what I've been doing anyways, what most people I think kind of do is they leave kind of the cap in there and they just have this, which is really nice, really handy. Then I'm never worried about losing the top. It's always there. I can open it up, get right to a note, boom, ready to go. So let's move to that top-down shot here for you. All right, so we're here at the top-down shot here. I'm going to show you guys what I have on my Super Note and how I've kind of been using it. So as I open it here, personally, this half folio, I got to say this half folio is really nice. I was kind of worried that the back was going to be exposed or whatever. You know, has not been an issue at all. Not at all. This is really kind of nice. Really sleek. It keeps the device really thin. There's the kind of the Manta eyes from the Manta. All right. So, anyways, here's my kind of template, my planner that I've been using. I made this myself on Canva. Then I switched it out to PDF because you know, with Canva, I don't know if you know this or not, but they can only have so many different pages on there. This one has 109. That broke the limit. So, anyways, but this is how I've been using it. And the nice thing is, so if I click on the kind of the hex up here, it goes to the index. I have this one start. I can click on any of the months. I kind of go out to a month that we're not in right now. Here we go. So I got all kinds of stuff here. All right. What I have been doing is I'll go through the year and I just, from my Google Calendar, move things, migrate things over into this digital calendar. And as I go, I can do this. I wrote down the kind of weeks over here on the side. These correspond to the weekly planner. So for me, what I do is if it's, let's say it's August 1st, I'll click in here on the one. If I can do this from this angle, maybe not. Let's see, there we go. There's my daily page. In my daily page, I like to take notes. It's sort of like a bullet journal, kind of. On this side is kind of where the notes, key points, my reflection from the day kind of lives on this side. On this side, I go through and I write down my task list. And so I just write it down, boop, and then I cross out if I get it done, or I'll move it into the next day or whatever, however that goes. Gratitude, I always like to do the gratitude at the end of the day, so I have a dedicated section for that. And either I can swipe up from the top half of the screen since this is a PDF, or I can click back on August and it will just go back to August. Maybe we'll see if I just swipe up. There we go. Sometimes I'm really kind of leaning over here from the way this kind of setup is, so bear with me. All right. So, anyways, that's how I use the day. Now the weekly on Sundays, I'll go through and do a week 1 plan. Right in here, I have all of my information. I'll plan it out. What does my week look like? What do I have? What are the appointments? All of the stuff goes right inside there. And then from there, I get an idea of what the week is going to look like. This is just for planning, right? Just for an opportunity to kind of check in to see and make sure everything's on track. Then go back. at the end of the week is where I'll do the weekly review. I set these all up. So end of week 1, the review. All right, weekly reflection. I have my favorite moments, what I was most grateful for, key accomplishments, how I plan to do more of whatever those things are, what I plan to do less of. I'll take care of myself by blank, and I'm excited for blank. Those are just an opportunity to reflect back on the week to see how and where I was at. Okay, so you can see this is really snappy. It moves really, really smooth as you go. And then even down in the month, I have a monthly reflection. Same kind of questions for those. But again, I like to reflect on these different things. So that's how I've been using it kind of as a day-to-day type of planning system. By the way, because it's an e-ink screen and it's only refreshing, certain areas of the screen at a time, it is really helpful that Super Note has this kind of automatic refresh, not automatic, I guess manual refresh. I can refresh the page at all. And the other kind of nice thing is there are some gestures, I guess you would say is. So if I write something here, let's see, if I get out of highlight mode, I move into pin mode. There we go. And if I write something here, oh, I don't want that there. If I put 2 fingers down here, I can circle this. Boop, it goes away. That is super handy. Now I have to say that 2-finger kind of pressure there, that's sometimes a hit or miss. It's like a 75% chance that it works. Every once in a while, you got to do it a couple times to kind of get it to work. But it is, I think it's a learning curve on my part, not necessarily on the device's fault, but it is there. Also, if I have something written here, I can click 2 fingers out here, highlight it. Oop, I highlight it. There we go. And then what I can do is then I can turn that into a keynote. I can a keyword, and then boop, okay, great. And then that adds to the different keywords that I have for the rest of this document. Makes it searchable, which is really, really handy when it comes to writing notes down. If you're taking a class or you're reading a book and you want to transfer the notes down to this, super handy for that. Another thing is I can circle it here. I can, boop, delete it. I don't want it there, right? So I can delete it. Again, very handy. Now, this is a PDF. If I get into kind of a quick view here, let's go to quick note. So I get quick notes here. Different video ideas, so be checking for those things. Here we go. Great. All right, so this little menu that I have here, I can click here and hide, goes away, or it comes back. This is great if I want to switch out the pins. If I have something written here, boom, boom, boom. All right, I want to use this, and oh, now it's gone. Deletes it, right? Let's go back. If I go to this one, this is a really fine pin here. And then this one down here is really chunky marker, right? Okay, I don't want any of those things, so we're gonna delete them all. Now, on top of those things, I have the lasso tool here. I have so here, let's do this. If I write something, oh man, I messed up. If I just swipe up on this, it goes away. Oh, actually, I wanted that to come back. I pull it back down, it comes back. Undo and redo right there, very handy. We're just going to circle those. I want them all gone. Okay, great. The other kind of nice thing is as you're writing things down, so let's see. Let's write something. You can see my handwriting is not the best. But regardless, so let's write something. If I hit this little letter guy here, let's write something. Even though my handwriting is not super great, that still picked it up pretty fast. Right? Let's write something right there. And again, my handwriting is really kind of bad. Let's see if I do it in cursive. Let's see. I spelled the wrong right. Let's see. Let's go back. Right. Let's write something. Now let's see if this does it too. So that time I got, let's write soothing. So yeah, my handwriting is bad. I get it. But let's say that's a default of my handwriting and not necessarily a default of this. Let's try this again. Let's try that. Novelty. Okay. Or maybe this is a novelty. So I don't like any of this. We're going to delete it all. Okay, great. Boom. You can search having a search feature right inside of this. Again, as you're taking notes for whatever it is you're taking notes on, very handy to be able to search it up right there. You have it. Now, let's say you go to your kind of main page here. This is where all the main page is. In my document section here, this is where I kind of have different notebooks is kind of how I'm using this, okay? Now, if I go back to the files, you can export things. So this has a very, very handy feature where I can swipe down from the top. If I click on Wi-Fi, turn on Wi-Fi, also it has Bluetooth. I haven't yet done a Bluetooth keyboard, but that is something that we have opportunity to do. If I click on this guy here, I can go to here. Well, actually, I won't click on that while it's recording because otherwise you'll see my information. So anyways, if I click on this, a little dialog box pops up. If I go to the website that's on there, which is basically your IP address, then you can be able to access all of the stuff that's on here on a web browser. You can take stuff off. You can download things right to the device without necessarily needing a cord or anything like that. Wonderful. The other thing is you have this one here, which then means that I can, again, log on to the dialog box comes up. I can log in on a web browser. It sees, the web browser would see any and everything that I write down real time as I'm writing it down. Again, very, very handy for those people that are doing presentations or stuff like that. So very, very helpful. Let's see, am I missing anything? Oh, the calendar. Yeah. So I have, this is my kind of quick access thing here. A couple handy things is I put the kind of top things that I use right there, really easy to get to. I can always do last open. There's recents. I can do a new note right from there. Files, which brings me out to this kind of main overview page. To-do list, we're going to get to that here in a second. And calendar and Kindle app right on there, right? This is probably a little bit bigger than what you'd want to use as an everyday kind of reading. However, I gave my wife my Kindle, so I have this as what I've been using as my e-reader. It works beautifully. And to be able to take notes right on there, very, very helpful. So let's go to the calendar. As we go to the calendar here, here we go. In the calendar, this is linked to the Google Calendar, right? So get Google Calendar right on this device. Very, very helpful. Of course, if you wanted to be completely disconnected, you can do that. You don't have to connect to Google Calendar. It's just as an extra feature that you can do. Okay, so you have all the days in here, and you could do a month view, you can do a week view, and you can do a day view. Now, obviously, as you're in these views, you can write things. Pow, right on there. Something that I really like, something that is very handy. Let's go to a quick note here. Let's see. Record a new video. If I lasso this, I get a menu that comes up. Now the menu in the notes is a little bit different than the menu in a PDF. I can cut at this. I can copy this here. Whoop, it went away. But if I click onto the lasso, all it did was, whoop, it's back. And I want another one. I can put another one there. I can put another one there. So really easy to kind of copy and paste things over, move them around. I don't need this many of them, obviously. So we're going to go back. We circle this up. I can turn this into a header. Headers are great because then they're searchable. They're within the document. Let's see. We're going to put it as, I kind of like this one. There we go. And then we're going to do this again. I can change this into a keyword, makes it searchable. I can link this through this guy right here. Oh, okay, let's do. There we go. So I made this new one because I still have the lasso open. That one I can't link because it turned into a header, but this one hasn't yet. So we're going to do link. Now I can link this to another page. I can link it to another page within this current file, recent documents, other files, or even to a web page. And I have a couple different options up there for how I can link those, what they look like. There you go. You can see a little bit closer there. So that is very handy, very helpful to do. Now, game-changing feature here for me. If I lasso this, If I click on these three dots, a new event or new task, that means I can change whatever text, whatever handwriting thing I put in here into an event that lives on my calendar, into my actual Google Calendar, or into a task. So let's say we do event. It's going to recognize my handwriting. Look at that. Record new video. It got it. What day do I want it on? Let's see. Let's put it on February 18th, 10:30. Yep. And okay. It added that to my calendar. That's it. It was that easy. Now, if I go out, I go back to calendar on the 18th. There it is. Record new video. That was the one that we just did there together and put that onto my calendar. And not only is it on this calendar, but it's also on my Google Calendar because it links all the way up. Very, very helpful. So let's see. Let's go to last open note. There we go. So we're back into our page. Now, that is one way to put an event on the calendar. I can also lasso this, go to the three dots. I can make a new task. New task, record new video. What day do I want it done on? Let's see. Well, I want it done on, let's say the 19th. Yep. Confirm and add. Add a new to-do. Puts me back here again. Now, where does that go? Where does that live? Let's see. Let's go to the calendar. It's not there. It's not on my calendar. There's no things there. What happened to it? Where'd it go? Well, if I swipe back down, I have a to-do right there. Click on that. Boom. Right inside of there, record new video tomorrow. So you can use this as a way to take handwritten notes, lasso it, turn it into an event on your Google Calendar. That's so powerful, by the way, a crazy power for that. Or you can turn it right into a to-do list and you have a to-do list kind of running tally. Boom. And then you can look at planned. All right, great. These are, when's it due? Okay, it's due tomorrow. It says it right on there. All right, all or the completed ones, they're all right there. And you can even make new lists here on the bottom. All kinds of different functionality from that. Very, very helpful. So if I swipe back down, there we go. We're going to go just open to the last open note. Very helpful. Now, drawing is not something I think I probably will ever do on this device. I'm not an artist by any stretch of the imagination. This is just going to be for handwriting things, for reading, for taking notes on things. Very, very helpful. Let's see. Let's go to one where, let's see. Let's go to daily note. Yep. Oh, you know what? Here. That might show some personal stuff. Let's go to podcast notes. So for the podcast, I've been using this to take notes on. I'm just jotting information down as they're talking, and I later turn this into a blog post that goes up on the website. Regardless, I always have been making their name right here a keyword. So then what I can do is I can click on this guy and I have all the headings. This is page 2. Sorry. There we go. Boom. Right? And then if I click there, I go to John. Pow. Well, John didn't show up. Okay, so let's go back to podcast. If I click on one that actually showed up. Let's see. If I go to Brett. Brett showed up. Wonderful conversation with him. Boom. Right there. All my notes for Brett. I put the date and stuff there too. Let's go back. If I go to Wayne. Wonderful conversation with Wayne. Pow. Right there. All of my notes are right there, and I can search it right there by their name because I turned their name into a keyword, which makes it searchable right inside the document. I can always go, if I click this top one, it always kind of goes out. But let me tell you, very, very helpful. The pin. I was talking about the pin earlier. This pin is wonderful. I'm kind of a pin snob anyways, but this is a really, really nice pin. It looks and feels like a pen. It's not like a normal quote unquote stylus that you have like with the iPad or some of these other writing tablets. Very, very handy, right? And let's see if I can, there we go. A little bit less distraction going on. This comes apart, 3 pieces here, right? This is the actual like writing part of the pen. Okay, it's probably not going to be able to see that very well, but this is a little ceramic nib. So a lot of these writing tablets, they have a felt nib. And what that does is that is how they achieve the kind of paper-like feel that you feel as you're writing. Super Note went a little bit different direction with that. With this kind of ceramic nib, this, number one, never needs to be replaced. That was something that is very interesting to me because on a lot of these other ones, you have to replace the nib on the stylus because it wears down. It's felt. So you use it and use it up. You got to switch it out. Never needs to replace this. Very, very nice on that. Right? Never has to replace that. Now, it is a little fragile. I've seen some people that have dropped it. They've broken it. Okay, well, yep. You just have to be careful with your things. Maybe just to not encounter that. But that would happen either way. Very nice pin. This is a real pin. For all intents and purposes, this looks like a real pin. It's not. It only works on this, but it's super nice. Now, the feel. All I have to compare this to is my iPad. Writing on the iPad is okay. It's okay. It's doable if you're going to do it for just a little bit. You're not really into it. It doesn't really matter if it's a whole bunch of stuff. But if you're going to use handwriting on a digital type of device, something like this is really nice for that. Like it's literally designed for writing. The other thing that's really nice is the kind of feel that they have on this paper, right? They call it the feel right kind of texture thing, right? I'm not going to be able to get like a glare where you can see it. It's got basically a screen protector that goes over the top of this. Here, I'll close this. It's got a screen protector that goes over the top of this, and that screen protector is where that's where you get the kind of sensation, the feel at. The other thing is kind of interesting is as you put pressure down on this, it actually gives a little bit. Like it's not just a piece of glass. It's actually a piece of plastic. And so as you're writing on this, it feels more like you're writing on a notebook that has a handful of pages beneath the page that you're writing on. So it gives a little bit. It's got that little bit of kind of give, that squishiness as you're writing, for lack of a better phrasing. But it's very, very nice to write on, very comfortable. It's not fatiguing at all. It is as close to writing in a notebook as you could possibly be in a digital type of way. And then the opportunity to be able to export notes that you write on here, to import things onto this. If you have an extensive Kindle library that you wanted to download as PDFs, boom, you have that. If you have a PDF that you need to annotate, boom, you got that, right? It's so easy to do and so comfortable. So this is the Super Note Manta. Very awesome. I'll leave the link in the description for this video if you guys wanted to check it out. And let me know if you guys like this kind of video, this kind of more in-depth sort of review. More than happy to do a couple more of these. Let me know. Until next time, stay prestigious.